Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'm working in Rita Berman's My Journey Through Europe. I forgot to show you the full picture I'm doing, but it is one of the very first pages with the little bottle with the turtle inside. I'm using my Polychromos pencils today and I'm going to do a lot of water, and I'm also going to show you how to do a very simple bouquet background. So let's get started. So for these little circles, there are some on the opposite side as well, so just do exactly the same thing on those while you're doing these. So each step, just repeat them on the other side and just leave that little shell that's in the middle of the larger circle, and I will do that one a bit later. Now we are using a relatively limited color palette today, so we're going to use for all the water, and we're going to use pretty much all of the Cobalt range and the Turquoise range, so leave those out. I'll also be using some pink tones, and I will obviously list all the pencils below, but leave all your pencils out as you're using them because you'll be repeating them quite a few times. So a lot of these things are very repetitive, so I have decided to speed up certain parts just so it won't get so tedious and you see the same things over and over again. So using these darker colors, I'm pretty much just trying to get in as much shadow and as much depth as I can. So I'm working alongside these lines that are already there, and I'm having a little bit more shadow sort of on the bottom of each of these circles compared to up the top, but I am, as you can see, going alongside each of these lines, so it looks like they're kind of round, sort of almost like tubes that are attached to each other. So think of it like almost like sort of snail shapes. So that's why I'm sort of trying to get it to look like they are rounded shapes rather than just a flat circular pattern. So I'm just going to go ahead and do these little patterns up the top. There are some patterns sort of further down the page as well, and you're pretty much doing exactly the same. So I'll show you what I'm doing here, and you can replicate that further down, and I will show you a picture of it once it's done. So I'm just going to start out with the layer of the light turquoise and just sort of fading it out when I'm getting to the end of these sort of little lines in between. Now up here at the top I did end up and did the little swirls as well. However, down the side and down the bottom I didn't end up doing this. So where I'm going right now, I didn't fill those in on the sides and down the bottom. So I'm about done up the top here. I'll show you now quickly what I did down the side and the bottom. So if you want, you can take a screenshot of this or just pause and then finish off the sides and the bottom. I used exactly the same colors. So let's get started on these little sort of diamonds up the top. So you saw I did one down the bottom, but I thought I'll do these 3 up the top and show you how I did those. So I'm just going to go in with my lightest color first, and then I'm going to go in from the bottom and work my way maybe about halfway up with the darker color. So I'm going to use the exact same pink tones now for this little shell. So I'm just going to start filling it out first with my lightest, my pink madder lake, and then I'm going to go in where those lines, that makes it almost like into little pie pieces. I'll go in and do my shadows alongside those. I might go in and bring in some magenta at the end as well, just to really darken things up. If you're enjoying this video, I'd love it if you take the time to give it a thumbs up. It really helps push the video out to a wider audience. And if you're new here and are enjoying these videos, please feel free to hit the subscribe button, and if you click the bell as well, you'll get notified whenever I post new content. So I'll show you this little, see that little bubble? I'll show you how I'm going to do those. So I'm going to do a combination of the light cobalt turquoise and the pink madder lake, and just give it a little bit of a mix. There are some on the other side as well, so any bubble that is on the outside of that bottle in the middle, just do them exactly the same way. So for this tag, I'm going to go in with my beige red first, and then I'm going to use my cinnamon on the sort of outer, not that complete outer edge, but the outer areas of that inner part that I'm currently colouring. The outer edge we're going to do in a gold tone. So for my gold tones, I'm going to go in first with my light yellow ochre. Then I'm going to go in with my brown ochre, my burnt sienna, walnut brown and black. And that gives a really kind of antique-y looking gold colour, which I think will fit perfectly with this one. For the little cork in the bottle, I've just decided to go with brown tones, so make it into an actual cork. So I'm going to go in with Bistre first, then the Van-dyck brown, the burnt umber, and I might also add in some black for the darker areas. So I'm going to get started on these little waves that are up the top of the bottle. So I'm going to again use the same kind of technique that I've done with the other ones, and I'm just going to try to make sure that I'm kind of changing the spots where I've got the shadows a little bit, so it just makes it a bit of a play on colours and it's not all completely the same. want to bring in a little bit of the deep cobalt green because I'm going to use that on the water background inside the bottle as well. So I'll just put in a little bit of that here and there, but I'm not going to go too hard. Now there are a few little, they look like little clouds, the little white areas just on top of those two side waves there, and won't do those this time. I'm going to do that when we're finalizing in part 2 of this. I will go ahead and do those with maybe some either Sakura jelly roll or some Posca pen. with this little anchor here, I'm going to start out using my cold greys. I'm starting out with the cold grey 2, and wherever I want my shadows to be, I will just keep going further up in the numbers. Unfortunately, a little bit later on with this anchor, my video file ended up getting corrupted, so I couldn't upload it even though I did record. So unfortunately I don't have absolutely everything, but I will put a photo of the final anchor just so you can see how I did the shadows. So here is the finished anchor. For the heart I used the exact same colors that I did for the shell up the top, and I went all the way up to Payne's grey, and I also added in a little bit of the light cobalt turquoise on the anchor as well, as you can see. So now for the background here, the water background, we're going to do a bokeh background. I'm starting out by adding a nice light layer of the light cobalt turquoise to the entire area from the bottom all the way up to the waves that we just did up the top. Because this is very repetitive, I'll just show you this bottom part here rather than show you everything, but you're going to do the exact same thing for the whole sort of water background. So it's time to start adding in our little circles. So I'm just going to add in a little bit of this bluish turquoise down the bottom, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sort of map out a circle using the color, like a different color to what's underneath. So I've just sort of added in a few little areas now, and I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to add in a little circle. So I'm doing this, I'm not going in hard, I'm going in very, very light, and then I'm blending out the color just on the outside of that circle. You don't have to go all the way, I'm just sort of blending it out just that little bit, and then I'll find a different spot to put another circle. So I'm going in again, making a circle, and you can do these in all different, not shapes, but all different sizes. So that way it sort of doesn't look completely uniform, and that's what you want with these sort of things. So doing a circle and then blending out the color a little bit. So as you can see, I'm not blending too far out, just a little bit. going to keep repeating this process, just using all of my different cobalts and turquoises just here and there, and keep blending them together. So I'm going in with the deep cobalt green now, adding my circle, not going in very hard, and then just blending out. So I'm kind of blending it into that, I think it was cobalt turquoise or something that we had there before, or the blue, actually it was blue turquoise I think, and just doing exactly the same, sort of here and there and around, using all the different colors. And then once we've done, and as you can see when I'm blending it in, I'm blending like really lightly, because we're going to add lots of different layers of this. We're going to go on top of where we blended, and we're going to add more circles, and the more circles we're adding and the more dark the background is getting where we're adding these circles, the further back it's going to look like these circles are. So that's the whole effect that we want to make. We want to make it look like there are many levels of these little circles. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm only showing you the bottom part, but you'll do this exact same thing all the way up to the top where those waves that we did before, where those are. So I'm now going to start going on top of all these areas that I've blended in, so that will make for slightly darker circles as well. So I'm just going in and doing exactly the same thing, making my circle and then blending it out. Just make sure that you're not obviously blending into the circles that you've already made. You want those to be quite light. So the whole point now is to make some darker circles that will look like they're sitting further behind. So as you can see, this is a very repetitive process. You just keep going and going and going until you're happy with the amount of circles and sort of darkness and levels that you have. So I'm not going to show you absolutely everything because we'll be sitting here for quite a long time, but I'll show you a little bit more and then we'll just skip to where we ended up and I'll show you. So just keep going until you've reached a level where you're happy and just keep adding new circles over your dark areas. And here you can see the finished product. So you can see how looks like there are several levels of these circles. So the darker they are, the later I kind of color them in. So, and at the top here, I've done some larger ones as well as some smaller ones as well. So all using the exact same technique. So I hope you enjoyed following along with me today. We will do a part 2, but we're going to finish off the bottle, do the turtle and the buildings as well as those little water plants that are in here. So I hope to see you again for that one. I wish you all a colourful day and I will see you again next time.